Hello my dear students, today I have come with another new and interesting problem. I would rather say that it's a concept which you need to clearly understand as far as polarization of dielectric is concerned. So suppose you have two capacitor plates, PQRS is one capacitor plate and TUVW is another capacitor plate. These two capacitor plates, they have charges plus sigma F and minus sigma F, the surface charge density. And if this dielectric slab, suppose no dielectric is present, only air is present inside for an air core condition, the electric field in between the capacitor plate is definitely EF equals to sigma F by epsilon naught. We know that. Now, if you introduce a dielectric, what will happen? This applied electric field will actually polarize the dielectric. And what do we know? That there is separation of charge that takes place in the dielectric atoms, the dielectric molecules. So this separation of charge that you see, it results in an electric dipole moment, P. So if I say that the charge separated is small q, and the distance is dl, so the electric dipole moment which is produced is q times dl. Okay. So what happens due to polarization of the dielectric? So as you can see, you see this diagram very clearly. So here you see these electric dipoles, they have their charges segregated from each other. So this plus positive charge and this negative charge, they nullify each other's effect. Okay, but at the ends what happen? At the ends here there is no one to nullify this particular negative charge's effect. So this negative charge and the positive charge here creates an electric field within the dielectric, which is EP, and it is sigma P by epsilon naught. What is sigma P? Sigma P is the surface charge density due to polarization of charge. And what is polarization of charge? This separation of charge which is produced due to the applied electric field. And this applied electric field is due to the charge on the capacitor plates. So very clearly we can understand one important fact here, that this EP is opposing EF. EP is opposing EF. So if the net dipole moment of this polarized dielectric, if I call it delta P and the volume is delta V, so then we can define this particular term, okay, capital P, which is known as polarization or polarization density and is expressed as delta P by delta P. So delta P by delta V, what is delta P? The net dipole moment, the net electric dipole moment of all these electric dipoles. You consider a certain volume inside the dielectric, find the net electric dipole moment per unit volume. Okay. It can also be expressed like this. The induced polarized charge density, the induced surface polarized charge density, I should say like that, is sigma P, and it is P vector dot n cap. N cap is the outward drawn normal on the surface. So these are the preliminary informations that we need to know before we proceed with today's work. Next thing, it's a mathematical tool. I hope you know that if you have a circular ring of radius r, okay, the angle that it subtends at any axial point which creates some angle theta, which subtends some angle theta with its edges, the solid angle which it subtends at the point P is this one, 2 pi into 1 minus cos theta. Another very important concept that we need to know. Now suppose you have made a cavity inside a dielectric, and that cavity looks like a cylinder, as we can see here. Suppose you have a cavity which is made inside the dielectric. Now this particular cavity, inside the cavity, what will be the electric field? The electric field that you will get inside the cavity at any point, maybe the center, at the point O, will be contributed due to 4 factors. What are the 4 factors? Let's understand. First of all, because of the charge on the capacitor plates, which I said already, sigma F by epsilon naught. Second of all, due to the charge induced at the edges of the dielectric, which I said that is sigma P by epsilon naught. Third thing is because of the charge induced on the surface of this cavity, which we are going to find out. And the fourth one is if there are any existing permanent dipoles within the cavity that will contribute. So we have assumed that our dielectric slab is perfectly unpolarized. Okay, it's an unpolarized, isotropic, perfect, homogeneous in configuration dielectric slab. So the fourth factor does not contribute to any electric field. So primarily these are the three things. So already two things we know, sigma F by epsilon naught, sigma P by epsilon naught. So we know sigma, so at the point O, my net electric field can be written as sigma F minus sigma P by epsilon naught I cap plus electric field at the center at the point O because of the induced polarized charges on the surface of this cavity. Okay. So suppose the charge which is induced on the surface of the cavity is sigma P dash. Alright. Now very clearly, as you can see here, the magnitude of sigma P is equals to the magnitude of polarization density or capital P. So what we can say that this is actually sigma P in clear terms. So sigma P dash ds by 4 pi epsilon 0 r square. Now I have multiplied by 2. Why I have multiplied by 2? Please try to understand. So here you see, this negative charge will induce a positive charge here, and this positive charge will induce negative charge here. Basically it's like that. Okay, because again a cavity means a discontinuity. So if you go on by this dielectric configuration distribution as we have seen, so you will see positive charge lining here, and here you will see negative charge lining here at the ends, and no charge is induced on these lateral surfaces. So if I take infinitesimally small surfaces on the lateral surface, say this one, so here ds vector is perpendicular to p vector, here also ds vector is perpendicular to p vector, so they do not contribute to sigma p because it is p vector dot n cap. So Pn cos 90 is 0. But these two circular faces of the cylinder will definitely contribute to electric field at this particular point. So sigma P dash, and you can see that this positive charge will create an electric field in this particular direction, and this negative charge will also create electric field in this particular direction. Okay, from the very definition of electric field as we already know. So now what we can say is DEC is sigma P dash ds by 4 pi epsilon 0 r square. Two surfaces are aiding each other in their contribution to electric field, so into 2. So by simple mathematics you can understand ds by r square, this is nothing but solid angle, and this particular circular face induces how much solid angle? 2 pi into 1 minus cos theta. So I have introduced that particular term. There are a few cancellations and you get P by epsilon naught into 1 minus cos theta. Okay, so the electric field is P by epsilon naught 1 minus cos theta. What is the direction of electric field? Electric field's direction will be along the direction of electric dipole moment. Okay, so definitely the direction of electric polarization is in this direction. I hope it is clear till here. Now you please see, if I take two subcases, say case 1, if the cavity is needle shaped, if this cavity is needle shaped, means very very thin, so then what will happen? This value of theta shall vanish, it will become 0 degree. So cos 0 is 1, then EC is 0. So only sigma F by epsilon naught and sigma P by epsilon naught survives. And if it is a narrow slit or a disc like cavity, then theta becomes 90 degree. So then what happens? Only sigma F by epsilon 0 minus sigma P by epsilon 0, and you get plus P by epsilon 0 term because the second term vanishes. So what we basically observe in these two cases is that depending on the shape of the cavity, the electric field at its center varies accordingly. Now we will see what happens in case of a spherical cavity? Suppose that there is a spherical cavity inside the dielectric slab. So now clearly you see this in this direction. What will I get if this is P? This is theta, so this is also theta, so we will get P cos theta, right? And n cap is also in this direction for this at this particular point. So n cap is also in this direction. So the induced surface charge can be written as sigma P dash equals to P cos theta multiplied by the area of this ring. So what is the area of this ring? If this is R, this is theta, so this will be R cos theta and this is R sin theta. Very clearly this is R sin theta. So this ring has a radius 2 pi, radius R sin theta, and its thickness is definitely R d theta. So its area will be 2 pi R sin theta into R d theta. Okay. So therefore electric field at the center DEC is equals to sigma P dash, okay, by 4 pi epsilon naught R square. Now basically what we have found out? We have found out QP. So QP is sigma P dash, or I should write it like this, dQP equal to sigma P dash into dA or ds. Okay. So this is the charge, which is the polarized charge which is induced on this particular surface. Okay. So dQP is sigma P dash multiplied by ds. What is sigma P dash? I told you magnitude of polarization in that direction, along the direction of outward drawn normal. So P vector dot n cap will be P cos theta. So basically sigma P dash is P vector dot n cap, which is nothing but P cos theta. Okay. So P cos theta multiplied by area of that strip. So 2 pi R sin theta R d theta. Okay. So this is nothing but this one. So very clearly DEC can be written as 2 pi P R sin theta cos theta d theta divided by 4 pi epsilon 0 R square. Okay. So now you see, if we do the cancellation, 2 pi 4 pi 2 R square cancels. So or DEC is P by 2 epsilon naught d theta. So now this DEC can be resolved into two components. If I call this one as DEC, as we can see, if this is DEC, so DEC is resolved into two components, DECX and DECY. So DECX is along the direction of field and DECY is perpendicular to the direction of field. For all values of DECY, for all the elements, they mutually cancel off each other. So DECX basically is nothing but DEC cos theta. So therefore what we can say? Therefore DECX is equals to P by 2 epsilon naught cos square theta sin theta d theta. Now if you integrate it, then you will integrate it from 0 to pi. So if we move from 0 to pi, then basically the element travels from here to here and covers the entire sphere. 0 to pi. Do this integration, you will get 2 by 3. So this will fetch you the result. EC at the point X will be P by 3 epsilon naught. Okay, very important result. So very clearly what we can say, that the net electric field at the center of this spherical cavity will be sigma F by epsilon 0 because of the surface charge density on the capacitor plates minus sigma p by epsilon 0 because of the polarized surface charge density at the two edges of the dielectric. We have subtracted the two because they are opposing each other, plus p vector by 3 epsilon 0. This electric field is contributed because of the induced charge on the surface of the cavity. Please understand this. And as we said, DEC, you see, we have considered a strip in the negative part, in the negative induced charge region on this cavity. So basically from this particular part, electric field will be along this particular direction. Okay, so electric field is actually in this direction. So you take a component DEC along X, along the direction of P vector. So basically P vector is in the same direction as that of DECX. Okay, so evidently we can find out DECX is DEC cosine theta, where DEC is this one. So you take cos square theta sine theta. Now if you integrate it from theta equals to 0 degree to theta equals to pi, this elementary strip, or this elementary, basically this particular ring covers the entire cavity region. It covers the entire cavity region, and you get this particular result. I hope this discussion cleared your fundamental concepts of polarization. Next time I will come with another interesting concept or another interesting problem. Thank you very much. This is my humble attempt to clear some basic concepts that you find difficult while studying physics at the +2 level. Thank you.